Hey fam. So I've been going back and forth trying to figure out whether or not I was going to make this video or not. Somehow I was like shameful. Somehow I was like afraid of being judged or whatever, just because it's in a position that we've never been in before. But quite honestly, what's going on in the world right now is never happened before. Or I'm not going to say it's never happened before, but it hasn't happened in my lifetime yet. So as you all know, COVID-19, the corona, is out to get California, and we are in shelter in place. But due to COVID-19, I got laid off from both my jobs. I had two full-time jobs, and I got laid off from both. One of the companies, they are seminar-based companies, so most of their business is based on the presenters or the speakers traveling, going to different conferences, hosting their own conferences, and people kind of buying into what they're selling based on the conference. So because the CDC and the California governor put out the policy that at first it couldn't be 50 people, then it went down to 10 people, then it went down to 5 people. And so now there is no social interaction at all. We're practicing social distancing. Because of that, the company lost so much money that they actually had to close. And so they laid off all of our office. My second job was a hotel. And believe it or not, the hospitality industry is struggling. There are so many hotels, especially here in San Diego, that have been impacted by COVID, and it's crazy. But basically, I work at a hotel. The occupancy just kept dropping. Hotels pretty much make most of their money based on events and conferences, and sales were down. And so everyone's canceling their events, which means there's really nobody staying at the hotel. And I can be honest, in a hotel with almost 600 rooms, I had about maybe 17 people at most in-house. And so due to just the financial burden that it's caused on the entire property, they decided to close the hotel right now as well. Now, with the hotel, they started, even with both companies, they started laying off people. Like, first they started with cutting hours, then they started with layoffs, and then they closed everything. So everyone got laid off. So at my property, everyone got laid off. At the other company, everyone got laid off. So quite honestly, like, it sucks. Like, it sucks to be out of work. But at this time, there really is no work. Because I tell you, the minute that I got a call from my main job, because I was a podcast producer, the minute that I got a call that we were laid off, I immediately went into hustle mode. I was like, all right, so I don't have a job tomorrow, or I won't have a job tomorrow. I need to go out and find something now. So I went to all the hotels, because I do have experience in hotels. I have experience in hotel management. I've done everything in a hotel. And that's what I've been doing for the last 5 years before I got this job, which was my dream job. So I immediately went to all the hotels, and I'm like, hey, knocking on doors, giving out resumes. And they're like, look, we cut most of our staff, so we're not hiring right now. Like, we're deciding on if we're gonna close our doors. And I'm like, oh shoot, it's that serious. When I tell you, within 30 minutes, like, I got the call from one job, and then within 30 minutes, I got the call from the other job that the other job was closing down as well. It was like, oh shoot, like, this did not just happen. And so it's so funny because one of my coworkers at the hotel was like, hey, did you hear the hotel closed down? What are you going to do? And I was like, as you're saying this to me, I'm legit standing in another hotel trying to get a job because I just lost my other job. And he's like, oh, shoot, I'm so sorry. So he was like, well, you should look into DoorDash. And I was like, all right. I mean, I did Postmates before. I have no shame in doing anything as long as it's bringing money into my household. And so I was like, all right, well, anything legal. And I'm not going to say I have no shame doing anything legal. And that does not go against anything that I believe or take away any dignity. Okay, put that out there. But I'm like, all right, I'll look into Postmates. So I signed up for Postmates. Y'all, Postmates literally sent an immediate response. We are not hiring in your area right now. Postmates. I signed up for DoorDash. Same thing. I was like, what is this? And so I sat there and I'm like, all right, what's open? because clearly a lot of businesses that should be open are closed due to COVID. So, okay, understandable. What's open? So I remember having a conversation with my mom, and she was like, hey, get into healthcare. And I was like, all right. So I literally drove to the hospitals, and I was like, hey, are you guys hiring? Looking for a job, just got fired. Can you get me in? And they're just like, I'm so sorry, but we have a hiring freeze right now. Unless you're a registered physician, we're not taking anyone in. We actually had to lay off some of our staff. And I was like, oh, shoot, okay. So then I was like, all right, grocery stores. I went to the grocery stores. And they were like, honestly, this is a very busy time for us, but we are not hiring because we don't know how this is going to play out and we don't want to bring anyone in. But we kind of are constantly hiring. So fill out this application. And then once things slow down, we'll give you a call. And so I'm like, okay, so I'm filling out applications at grocery stores. So I was like, what else is open? Gas stations. I go to these gas stations. They're like, I'm sorry, we're not hiring. And I even saw a cop sitting on the side of the road. I pulled over and I'm like, hey, I know this sounds crazy, but I just lost both my jobs. Are you guys hiring at the police department? And the officer told me, go online, check out the city's website. I know that we are hiring, but I don't believe we're looking in our actual office, but we're looking for, police officers. So you would have to go through training and, you would have to get certified to be a police officer, but I do believe that we're always hiring. And so I'm like, all right, I can go through police training and be a police officer. Or I could just keep looking. And so I went home and I told my husband, I'm like, hey, look, you already knew I lost my jobs. I tried to go find something. This is what I did. And he was like, yeah, it looks like we may just be on lockdown for a minute. When I tell you within hours, the California governor released the statement that the whole state of California was on, what's it called? Shelter in, where basically you have to stay inside to cut down on any type of social interactions with anybody. It's so crazy because these people just roll past me and they have masks on in the car. That's how it is right now. These people rolled past me and their windows are up and they have masks on as they're driving in the car. So it's hit a lot of people here in California, and it's definitely hit me when it comes to different jobs. But one thing I can say is that as soon as I got the call that I lost both jobs, it hit me that as quickly as things are gone, things can also return. And so I guess in retrospect, as quickly as God took away those jobs, he can bless us so much more. And so in an instant, God can change our situation, whether that be for the good or for the bad. So in all things, you just have to make sure that you're trusting in the Lord with all your heart and leaning not on your own understanding. A lot of people in this time, especially here in California, are freaking out. There are so many people that are afraid. Grocery store aisles are empty. People are running around the grocery store. They're losing their minds. They're at home. They're freaking out. It's crazy because you don't realize how afraid people are until you see how afraid people are. But really, it's just God says, fear not, for I am God. And so if God's telling us not to be afraid of anything, and if God is telling us that he is our provider and that he's going to give us everything we need, then I trust and believe that my Lord and Savior is going to give me everything that we need. I mean, once me and hubby realized that for at least the next 2 weeks to a month, we may be at home, then it was all right, well, let's go to the store, stock up on what we can stock up on, and chill. And I don't mean chill as in be lazy, but I mean chill as in not worry, because God tells us not to worry. And so that's what we did. We stocked up on groceries. We're good for at least 2 weeks. We'll go back out. The grocery stores are still open. For those who don't know what shelter it is or quarantine, no, we are not locked in the house. You can still go outside. They just ask that you only go to the gas station, the grocery store, the post office, and to walk your dog. So that's pretty much all that's open. The gas station, the grocery store, the post office, and a park outside. Like, that's all that's open. Everything else is closed. And so I just want to send you guys encouragement and let you know that in tough times, it's gonna get better. Like, this too shall pass. And even in the midst of the storm, sun comes after the storm. Like, today is a beautiful day. Like, the sun is legit shining. Like, it's a gorgeous day. And so I just want to send some encouragement your way. I know that regardless of the situation that I'm in, it's only temporary. And so there is nothing that's going to stop me from walking in God's will for my life. I look at this opportunity as an opportunity to get the rest that I need. And I don't mean like sleep, even though I do need to catch up on sleep, but to get the spiritual rest that I need to rest my body, to recharge, and to put time into what God has called me to do. Because yes, I was working 2 jobs, but I was working 2 jobs to provide for my household. And so now that I'm trusting that the Lord is going to provide for my household and everything that we need until we're unquarantined and we're able to go back to work, then I know that God is going to provide, and I'm going to use this time to be productive, whether that be working on Iron Wifey, whether that be catching up on relationships that may have fallen I'm not going to say to the side, but people I may not have talked to, making sure those relationships stay strong, whether that be creating content, videos, podcasts, interviews, whatever it is that God has for me. I know that I am going to use this time wisely, and I'm also going to invest this time in what it is that I want to do. Like, there are so many things that I was like, man, I wish I could do this, but I just don't have enough time. And so now I ain't got no excuse because I got nothing but time. But I just want to encourage you. I had to file for unemployment. Yeah, I had to file for unemployment for the first time. So that was interesting as well. So I'll share a little bit about that in another video. But I just want to encourage you and let you know that God's in control. He's in control of all of this. Like, there's no need to worry. There's no need to be afraid. Wash your hands. That's it. Just practice good hygiene. Wash your hands. Don't cough off anybody. Like, just be courteous of other people's space, and we'll be fine, because this is going to pass. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, and it says that in the Bible. There's literally nothing new under the sun. So this has come and it has gone. And so God has a plan for your life. He has a plan for my life. All we have to do is trust him and not lean on our own understanding. So don't sit there and try to find ways that you can do this and that and this and that and this and that. It ain't in your control, sis or bruh. It ain't in your control. Just allow the Lord to do what he's doing. Spend this time with your family. Spend this time with your loved ones. I don't know how it's going on the East Coast. It seems like my family over there is either working from home and still working, but it doesn't seem like it's to the extent as California right now. But I just want y'all to know that I love you. In all things, stay up, because this is only temporary. So during this temporary time, whether you got a job or you don't got a job, whether you're working from home or you're not working at all, or you're working for yourself, work is unto the Lord. Make sure that everything that you do, you're giving it to him, and just trust that his will is going to be carried out, because at the end of the day, it is. We don't have control over this. So just surrender your life to Christ, and he will keep you in perfect peace. I love y'all. I will talk to you later. Other than that, bye.